Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, a second generation broadcaster, our Texas Radio Hall of Fame Director Emeritus. Give it up for, I can't call you Rowdy. Let's give it up for Josh Holstead for an update on the organization.
For those of you who are first timers in the building here, and you've asked yourself this question in the last couple of days, weeks, who was the son of a bitch who said, let's move this thing to Kilgore, Texas?
Friendly.
I am that son of a bitch. Sorry. But look, I got good news, great news, and the greatest news. First off, if you are unaware, it was the last night of district ball right here in Kilgore, and Kilgore, the underdogs, beat Chapel Hill and advanced to the playoffs. When I gave up the day-to-day operations of the organization and Doug took over, one of Doug's boilerplate items was he wanted to start a scholarship program, and thankfully we were not without a number of people who jumped right up with checkbook in hand and said, absolutely, I'm all about that. Kid Craddock's organization stepped up. Bill Moffitt's friends did too. The family of Mike Edmonds did as well, Chris Allen of KILE fame, among others. Matter of fact, I did want to say thanks to a handful of these people that just jumped on this year, including the San Antonio office, as I like to call them. That would be Lee Woods and Henry Pepsi Pena, who are both here today, and I love them both. And lastly, if you know Captain Harold Gunn, he's never been one to hold his tongue. And we as radio broadcasters have all told each other, keep this a secret, can you? But we never do. But I want to commend Harold because he has had some joyous news for the last couple of days that I begged him to keep under wraps until today, and let me tell you about it. It has to do with one of our scholarship recipients. And his name is Alex Weister, and he comes out of the Corpus Christi market. He goes to school at the University of Texas, and Doug Kesterson and the gang there at Keys in Corpus Christi really brought him to our attention. And he was a scholarship recipient, and he was the recipient of the Harold Gunn Award last year. Got to meet this kid, a bright kid, and we all kind of knew he was unique. He was unbelievably special. Well, several weeks ago, the nominations for the Lone Star Emmys come out, and Alex was a nominee for a Lone Star Emmy Award, and the kid isn't even out of college. Can you believe that? The production for this event was already complete when Doug called us on Tuesday and said, you're not going to believe this, but Alex won. So we have ourselves a Texas Radio Hall of Fame scholarship recipient and Emmy Award winner. So, when you guys think, how can I let my legacy live on? What can I do to honor my father, honor my mother, honor my brother? Is there a way that I can do that with this organization? Yes. And it's with $1,000. And I'd gladly take your check today. So you can reach out to us through the Texas Radio Hall of Fame website or our Facebook page, and we'll show you how easy it is to get that done and how long that goes in the education and the preservation of this medium that we love so much. Thank you all for coming here today. It's going to be a spectacular day, and again, for the first timers here, thank you and welcome to Kilgore, and for these people that make the trek here every year, thanks for coming back.
My friend Doug Harris.
I'm not sure where I would be without radio. I mean, it's given me a career. it's been so much more than a paycheck. I mean, I've had adventure, I've had challenge, I've had an element of victory on occasion, also a few gut punches that were manageable. But honestly, I've met some wonderful people, I've met some crazy people, I've met some scary people. But it has been a wild, wonderful ride, and thankfully, it's not over yet. So I don't know where I would be without radio. I don't know where anybody in Texas would be without radio. Whether you are following a game, a ball game, or a news story, or a weather emergency, or wondering what the farm report is this morning, I don't know. Well, anybody in Texas would do without radio. So here are my thoughts on that. Here, all around us, we're surrounded by our past, our rich history. And our present is right there. And that's an incredibly talented group of individuals, and friends and family of individuals. But many of these folks still working in radio and broadcasting, and that's a very fortunate thing. The question is, what is our future? And the future is what we make of it. Sounds trite, I know, but it's the truth. So let's keep the scholarship programs. You're going to hear about 2 new programs today that I think show our forward momentum. But the bottom line is, radio, they keep telling us, radio's dead, radio's dead, radio's dead. Well, not on my watch. So stand with me on this. I want to recognize a special guest who's here today, because many people say, you know, let me tell you about my grandfather, let me tell you about my brother. How do we get them in the Texas Radio Hall of Fame? And we've tried to simplify and demystify that process. But part of it is making sure that others know and are aware of the work of your family member or friend. And one of the folks that does that really well, it's a group of folks in San Antonio, Texas. And I've asked their representative, Tim McKee, who is the president of the Society of San Antonio Broadcasters. And if you would like to come up and say thank you and talk about, you know, the legacy of SA Radio. I spent some time in that market, had a big fun time, but if you want to know how it's done, this team gets together, they organize their troops, they make phone calls and reach out to people. And so, Tim, it's all yours. You betcha.
Appreciate it. Once again, I am Tim McKee, President of the Society of San Antonio Radio Broadcasters, and we are in charge of the San Antonio Radio Hall of Fame. And we have sent numerous people here to the Texas Radio Hall of Fame, 2 of which Josh mentioned earlier, Lee Woods and Henry Pepsi Pena. And I would like to congratulate Henry on his 60th year in broadcasting. Please stand up, Henry. Kilgore, I've been working with Chuck Conrad on trying to build a museum in San Antonio, and we'd like very much to replicate what you see here. So hopefully in the next few years there will be 2 broadcast museums in Texas, one here and of course one in San Antonio. But the San Antonio Radio Hall of Fame would like to thank all of you for your support of San Antonio. And we'd like to see some more members inducted into the Texas Radio Hall of Fame, so you'll see us more and more present here every single year, I hope. So thank you very much. We look forward to seeing more of you in San Antonio in the years to come.
Well, we should have maybe made more noise for San Antonio. I know that came from you. All right, there we go. Good job, Tim. Y'all give another round of applause. Great job. So the after party, everybody say after party. After party. Perfect. It's going to be at the restored U.S. Post Office on Kilgore Street, across from the Texan Theater, hosted by Stella Nova Foundation. Thanks to our friends at Stella Nova Foundation. Open to all the induction ceremony guests. So all of our previously inducted Texas Radio Hall of Fame members, will you please stand to be recognized? There's over 400 that have been inducted, but here today, if you're here, will you please stand? Please rise. So good to see you. Cactus Jack, amen. It's so good to see you in person. Stand, no, y'all stay up. longer remain standing. It's like an Elton John song. For the rest of the audience, y'all look around at our inductors. Look at all these individuals. These are pioneers in our business. We're going to keep this going for more generations. If you would, for everyone else, will y'all all please rise at this time? We're going to have the national anthem performed by the vocal majority.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. And the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free, and the home of the brave.
Now we have a gift for the vocal majority.
There we go. Hi. For those of you who know who the vocal majority is, we are just members of the vocal majority. We're actually a 100-plus man chorus out of Dallas. Shameless plug, a month from this weekend is our Christmas shows at the Isleham, so please vocalmajority.com. But the reason we're really here, and he was standing over here, is that, you know, we all outside of our careers have our hobbies and things, and ours is singing. None of us are professional singers. We just do this as a hobby. So one of today's inductees happens to also be a member of the vocal majority and has for decades. And he's actually the first inductee today, Dan Bell.